You know what's smart? Enjoying a fresh gourmet meal at home that you didn't have to cook. Meet Factor, your loophole in the laws of mealtime. Chef-crafted meals delivered with a tap, ready in just 2 minutes. You know what's even smarter? Treating yourself without cheating your goals. Factor is dietitian approved, chef prepared, and you plated. Pretty smart, huh? Refresh your routine and eat smart with Factor. Learn more at factormeals.com.
This episode is brought to you by Nissan. Fuel your inner adventurer in the first ever Nissan Rogue Rock Creek. From rocky trails to snowy roads, there are plenty of places to show off this adventure-ready SUV thanks to its intelligent all-wheel drive. Adventure calls in the first ever Nissan Rogue Rock Creek. Visit nissanusa.com to learn more. Intelligent all-wheel drive cannot prevent collisions or provide enhanced traction in all conditions. Always monitor traffic and weather conditions.
This is Optimal Work Daily, How to Successfully Market Something on the Internet, by Jeff Goins of goinswriter.com. Someone asked me the other day how to market something on the Internet. It took me off guard. Is marketing on the web really that different from doing it offline? Well, yes and no. There are essentially 4 aspects to successful online marketing, and for some reason, most online businesses, authors, and entrepreneurs neglect them. Remarkability. Do something incredible. Everyone on the web is a broadcaster. It costs virtually nothing to publish a blog post, send an email, or post a tweet, so lots of people do. In order to attract an audience, you have to do something out of the ordinary. Before you launch your marketing campaign, make sure you have something remarkable. It needs to be more than an average product for an average person. That can work on the shelves of Walmart or even a TV infomercial, but it'll get you little to no traction on the web. On the internet, people are searching for things that are extraordinary, things to talk about. The best stories get the best traction. Look at Twitter or that Numa guy. It's not always the greatest ideas or the best business models that win, but rather the most interesting ones. So, the best marketing decision you can make is to ensure your idea will stick and that you truly have what Seth Godin calls a purple cow. It needs to be remarkable. Permission. Ask before you sell. Once you have something worth talking about, start building a permission asset. This could be a blog or a newsletter. The medium is unimportant. The purpose is what matters. You need to have a platform that you build over time, by which prospective customers give you permission to communicate with them. Whatever it is, it needs to be something you own, not a Facebook page or Twitter account. Those can be extensions of your asset, but they aren't permanent tools. You don't have sovereignty over those communities, so beware of what Sonia Simone calls digital sharecropping. I recommend you begin with a website that produces dynamic content, i.e. a blog, and an email newsletter list. The key is to offer something that clearly adds value to people's lives. Before you ever ask anyone to buy what you're marketing, you need to help people. This builds trust, which leads to permission. One way to do that is to offer a piece of bait, a sign-up incentive. It can be an offer, a chance to win a prize, or a freebie. For example, I built my newsletter list to over 1,000 subscribers in a week by giving away an ebook. You earn permission with your audience by delivering value and communicating honestly about your offering. It's not about you, it's about them. This is crucial. If at any time the customer wants out of the permission relationship, you cut the ties, no questions asked. Permission is valuable. Treat it as such. Don't spam your audience. Always reward them for their loyalty. Many will return the favor. Stories. Tell captivating tales. Everyone wants to be caught up in something bigger than themselves. You can help this by telling compelling stories. People relate to stories. In fact, societies are built around narrative. We exchange everyday anecdotes with friends and family. We relive our favorite moments through the tales we remember and tell ourselves, and we process life through the stories that matter most to us. As an online marketer, you can leverage the power of stories to help sell your product and build word-of-mouth appeal. A great example of an organization that successfully utilizes online storytelling is Kiva. They use short stories to fund entrepreneurial efforts in the developing world. When you go to Kiva's website, you quickly learn about the single mother who wants to start a cafe in Mongolia, or the 26-year-old car electrician in Lebanon who needs tools to start his own business. And since it's all micro-lending, you get to participate in these stories with other folks who are funding the projects together. They're not just inviting their audience to give, they're inviting them into a story. Metrics. Measure what you do. Lastly, you want to be able to measure success so that you can evaluate your efforts at the end of a campaign. For the creatives, this is the boring, geeky part, but still important. Without measuring what you're doing, you'll never have an idea of how successful you're being. A success may look different depending on what you're trying to accomplish, but setting a goal ahead of time and staying accountable to the metrics is crucial. Otherwise, you're being creative without being responsible. For example, with this blog, I use an analytics tool that allows me to see who reads each post, where they come from, and if they're telling their friends about it. It helps me understand how to do what I do better. You can do the same. Plus, measuring successes and failures is the only way to acknowledge what works, what doesn't, and how to get better. Everything else is merely subjective. Your turn. These are simple steps, but they're important ones in marketing something on the internet. The web is an interesting place. It's communal, but niche-driven. You have to consider the power of stories and ideas in this space more than with other media. It's not enough to try to sell something useful and practical. Your product or service has to do more than solve a problem. It has to be amazing, and you have to craft a remarkable story and tell it well to those who care. And then you have to measure it. Incidentally, digital media is affecting the way we process all kinds of information. So not only is this the way to market something on the internet, it's really the only way to market something, period. You just listened to the post titled How to Successfully Market Something on the Internet by Jeff Goins of Goinswriter.com. We're driven by the search for better. But when it comes to hiring, the best way to search for a candidate isn't to search at all. Don't search. Match with Indeed. Indeed is your matching and hiring platform with over 350 million global monthly visitors and a matching engine that helps you find quality candidates fast. Ditch the busy work. Use Indeed for scheduling, screening, and messaging. 93% of employers agree. Indeed delivers the highest quality matches compared to other job sites. One of the things I love about Indeed is that it makes hiring all in one place so easy because Indeed's matching engine is constantly learning from your preferences. So the more you use Indeed, the better it gets. And listeners of this show will get a $75 sponsored job credit to get your jobs more visibility at Indeed.com/startup. Just go to Indeed.com/startup right now and support our show by saying you heard about Indeed on this podcast. Indeed.com/startup. Terms and conditions apply. Need to hire? You need Indeed.
This episode is brought to you by State Farm. You might say all kinds of stuff when things go wrong, but these are the words you really need to remember. Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there. They've got options to fit your unique insurance needs, meaning you can talk to your agent to choose the coverage you need, have coverage options to protect the things you value most, file a claim right on the State Farm mobile app, and even reach a real person when you need to talk to someone. Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
And thank you to Jeff for giving us permission to narrate from his blog. You can come visit his site, which I have linked in this episode's description and at oldpodcast.com. To tell you a little bit about Jeff, he is a super popular writer. He's the best-selling author of 5 books, including The Art of Work and Real Artists Don't Starve. On his site, you can hear his thoughts on writing, life, and creative work. So you'll hear him narrated across a few of our shows. And if you're looking to share your work, but you're afraid of becoming the starving artist, then his site is definitely for you. Lots of great advice there. So come check it out at Goinswriter.com. That's Goins writer.com. And thanks again to Jeff for letting us share his work. But I think that does it for today. I thank you for being a subscriber to our show. Have a great rest of your day, and I'll see you back here tomorrow where your optimal life awaits.